Welcome dear students in the new video. In this video we will continue the same chapter that is known as statistics. So in my previous video we cover exercise 14.1. In this we will start next video at 14.2. Next exercise. Now dear students, here the question is the following table shows age of patients. Okay, age of patients admitted in the hospital during the year. One survey is made, and in that survey, some statistical data is observed. Age and number of patients. They are making age groups and they are counting the number of patients. Okay, belonging to that age group. So here we find this data. So according to this data, we have to find the mean and the mode. Okay. So dear students, if you observe this, it is age in years 5 to 15, 15 to 25, 25 to 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, and so on up to 65. And the number of patients that is given like this. Okay. Now we have to find the mean. We have to construct the table. We construct the table. We construct the table as follows. Okay. First, 18 years, there is class interval. Age in years, that is, we call it this as the class interval. Then we have the corresponding frequencies, that is number of patients. In next column, there is frequency, we call this as the frequency. Number of patients. Okay. Next, we will find the class mark. Class mark. What do we call this as? Exact. Mid value. We can say that it is a mid value. Next, we will find some deviations. Exa minus A. So my question is, dear students, here, what is our A? Very good. A is our assumed value. Right. The next part we have to find here. The last column we can say it is we are applying to DI. Right? So that is the last column. So we will start this, starting with this 5 to 15. Its corresponding frequency is 6. 15 to 25, frequency is 11. 25 to 35, frequency is 21. Write the corresponding frequencies. So you have to be very focused about this. One wrong value will spoil all the calculations. So that's why we have to be very careful regarding this. 35 to 45, frequency is 23. 45 to 55, frequency is 14. Very good. And next 55 to 60. And frequency is 5. Now, how do we calculate the mid value extra? Sum of lower and upper limit divided by 2. 5 plus 15, that is 20. 20 by 2, that is equal to 10. Now dear students, this is continuous class interval. If you find a difference, upper limit minus lower limit, that becomes 10. So 10 is everywhere. This is the class width. We can say class width is 10 for everyone. So you may add 10 to every previous xi. So 10 plus 10, 20 plus 10, 30 plus 10, 40 plus 10, 50. And last is 60. Or you may call this as 5 plus 15 divided by 2, 10. 15 plus 25 divided by 2 is 20. 25 plus 35. 60 divided by 2 is 30. 35 plus 45, that is 80 divided by 2, that is 40. 45 plus 55, that becomes 100 by 2, 50. And 55 plus 65, that becomes 120 divided by 2, becomes 60. You may do like this, or you may have the class width. Add this class width to every previous value of xi. So 10 plus 10, 20, plus 10, 30, plus 10, 40, plus 10, 50, plus 10, 60. Now, here we have to calculate the A. How does we calculate A? That is the values from xi. Now, dear students, tell me what is the assuming we can take from these two values, because these two values are the mid values, exact middle values, out of which 30 is formed. That's why we can take 30 as the correct. Assume B. Now, this A remains constant. We have to subtract every value of this xi from 30. So 10 minus 30, that becomes minus 20. 20 minus 30, that becomes minus 10. 30 minus 30, that becomes 0. 40 minus 30, that becomes 10. 50 minus 30, that becomes 20. And 60 minus 30, that becomes 30. Now, last column is Fi into Di. Where is Fi, students? This. Where is Di? This. So we have to multiply the values, elements of these two columns. So minus 20 into 6. 6 into minus 20, that is minus 120. 11 into minus 10. Minus 0. 21 into 0, that becomes 0. 23 into 10, that becomes 230. 14 into 20, that is 280. And 5 into 30, that is correct, 150. Now, dear students, if you make addition of this, summation of Fi Di, if you add this, that becomes 430, right? And if you add this, we get summation of Fi, that becomes 80. Now, here the mean x bar is given by A plus summation of Fi Di upon summation of Fi, that we know. Now, what is A? A is this 30. Summation of Fi Di, it is 430 upon summation of Fi is 80. What is this? It is 30. This is 43 upon 8. That becomes 5.375. Right? So, if you add these two, 30 plus 5.375, that becomes 35.375. That is the mean, dear students. We are calculating mean. Now the next question is where to find the mode. What is it? And we know that the value of mean or mode, they are exactly same, near about same, they are approximately same values, and we are going to calculate now what is mode. Now for mode we have formula. Formula for mode is what? We have the formula for mode. It is L plus F1 minus F0 upon 2F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Now let me define some terms here. L is what? L is the lower limit of the modal class. F1 is the frequency of the modal class. F0 is what? Frequency of its previous class. And F2 is what? Frequency of next class interval to the modal class. And H is the class width. Now dear students, from this you will find these values. Now tell me which class interval you find the highest frequency. Correct. This 23. So this is the highest frequency. So the class belong to this 23 is 35 to 45. Now this is our modal class. This we call this as the modal class. Okay. So in this class interval, this is lower limit, this is upper limit. So this is what? This is here lower limit of the modal class. So that becomes 35, right? Plus F1, dear students. F1 is what? It is the frequency of the modal class. So we call this as F1, right? F0, frequency of its previous class. F0. And F2 is what? Frequency of next class. So F1 minus F0. What is F1? 23. What is F0? Frequency of previous class 21. Upon 2 into F1, that is 2 into 23. Minus F0. F0 is 21. And F2 is what? F2 is 14. Into H is the class width, which is 10. Now dear students, here we have some calculations, right? So this is 35 plus in bracket 23 minus 21, that becomes 2. 2 into 23, that becomes 46. And this is 21 and 14, that becomes correct minus 35 into it is 10, right? Now dear students, this is what? 35 plus it is 2 into 10, that is 20, and this is 46 minus 35, that becomes correct 11. Now if you perform this division, it is 35 plus 20 upon 11, that becomes 1.81, right? And if you add this 35 plus 1.81, that becomes 36.81. And this is what? This is our mode. Dear students, we find here mean as well as the mode. Mean is 35.375 and the mode is 36.81. Now here we construct this table: class interval, frequency, class mark, deviation, xi minus a, fi into di. This is class interval, this is frequency. Here we are calculating xi. This is our assumed mean. Okay, so if we add this, we get this 430. If we add this, we get 80. And this is our mean. And this is formula for calculating the mode. Now, dear students, coming to this problem, the same we are using the same formula over here. The following data gives, okay, information of lifetime of 225 electrical components, and hence find we have to mode. Okay. Now we know the formula. Mode is given by L plus F1 minus F0 upon 2 into F1 minus F0 minus F2 into H. Right? L is the lower limit of the modal class. Now, dear students, tell me which is the modal class. The class having its highest frequency, that is modal class, we know. Now, this is your modal class. Okay. Out of which, what is the lower limit? Lower limit is 60. Put this 60. F1 is what? F1 is the frequency. We may write this. F1 is frequency of modal class. Right? F0 frequency of previous class. Okay, and F2 is frequency of next class, which is next to modal class, and H is the class width. Right? Now, F1, this is F1 frequency of the modal class, right? F0 frequency of its previous class, F2 frequency of next class to the modal class. Okay, now F1 we know 61, F0 is previous class, which is 52, right? Upon 2F1, 2 into 61 minus F0 is frequency of previous class 52, F2 is frequency of the next class, that is 38, right? Into H is what? Width of the class. 20 minus 0 is 20, 40 minus 20 it becomes 20. So height remains the same, width of class. Now mode is, it is 60 plus now 61 minus 50, that becomes 9, correct? Upon 2 into 61, that becomes 122, very good, minus this 52 minus 38, minus 52 minus 38, that becomes correct 90, into height is what? We get is 20. Right? Now this is 60 plus 9 upon 122 minus 90, that becomes 32 into 20. Right? divide this by 2. Okay, so we get here 60 plus 10 into 9, that is 90 upon 16. Right. So if you perform the division, this is 60 plus, if you perform this division, 16 5s are. Put point here, 16 6 2. So if you perform this division, we get this 5.625, right? So this is 60 plus 5.625, and if you perform this addition, that becomes 65.62. This is what? This is what? So in this way we calculate this mode. This is the formula for mode, and this is for mean. Okay, both way we are calculating this. So I hope you understood this. Please go through this formula. We will again meet in our next video. Till then, it's goodbye from me, and please keep watch videos very carefully.